they got to wake up with their piss hot. So, you just got to be ready to go. And that's reality. That is the way it is now.
Woke up with my piss hot. What a way to start. Sweat on my forehead, racing hard. Woke up with my piss hot. Ready to ignite. Let's raise some hell. Let's own the night.
Daniels, just a rookie. 26 out of 30, 87%, 231 yards. He rushes for 47. He's doing everything. Shredded, baby. C.J. Stroud, 345 yards, brings the Texans back, wins it at the buzzer. Shred him, Stroud.
Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, powered by FLURRY Sports. It can be tough to win a fantasy league on your own, but at FFBC, we will work together to bring home the hardware. Hosted by Zach Bruner and the rest of the FLURRY Sports crew, we will give top-level analysis, answer your questions, and, well, go off on other tangents.
That was after I tried to get ChatGPT to admit that 9/11 was an inside job, but it stood firm. It gave quite a few solid points that it was true.
Welcome to Fantasy Football by Committee. The show starts in 3, 2, 1.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Fantasy Football by Committee, the Wednesday ranking show. Every Wednesday night, we do come here, live answer your questions, and go over the rankings for the week. Mostly compare them to the industry consensus just to see where we are higher or lower. I feel like that is more important than actual rankings, but obviously the actual rankings are on flurrysports.org. Go there, look at them, view them. I took my rankings off of FantasyPros this week. I feel like that's that's the play. I think I kept having it free for everyone just to go look at it, and now it's free, but you have to look at it at our site. So sorry about it, FantasyPros. Come over here. We got better analysis, anyways.
That's what happens when you're the best.
I mean, yeah, they have to come to me now. That's the thing. Trevor Land in the middle, Luke Rammer on the right. I am Zach Bruner, and definitely answer or ask any questions in the chat. Jimmy, what is going on? Obviously, ranking show, that's the title, but we are here to answer your guys' questions first and foremost. So if you guys have questions about anything, and truly, if you want to ask a non-fantasy question, we'll get off of fantasy immediately. That's kind of the point of the show.
I got a question.
Perfect. Here we go.
Let's start off.
You don't even need to write it in the chat. That's fine.
Fantasy football related.
Oh, okay. We can do that too.
And it's kind of a big question, and I'm probably jumping the gun on two positions, but this has been on my mind all day, and I still don't know what I want to do.
Okay.
What the fuck do I do with Tampa Bay with the receivers? I like Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. I'm starting them both. Like,
you've been starting them, you're saying?
Correct.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of people were in your position just because of the way ADP shook out. And if you were like a believer in Mahomes, like we were, or not Mahomes, Mayfield, like we were, you wanted to get all of that value. So, in terms of how I think it shakes out there, I think Otten's going to be just a little bit more reliable in that offense. I think Rashad White's going to get more receptions. And then I think they go and sign somebody. This seems like a Deontay Johnson plays possibly. But,
agreed.
Like in terms of the people they got, I don't know why they wouldn't just give Sterling Shepard more. I think he's the most reliable of the options left, to be completely honest. Baker's obviously got that chemistry from college. But then you got, whatever, Trey is there.
Palmer.
Trey Palmer. Like people like him a lot. He got as many snaps as he wanted last week, though, and he did nothing with them. So, like, I think he'll have big weeks. This could be one of them. Who knows? But I don't think he's going to be reliable whatsoever. Sterling Shepard, I think, could be, though. The only thing we've ever said about Sterling Shepard is that he's always hurt. And all of a sudden, he's not hurt. So I don't know why people are just not looking at him as much as they should, I guess. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. I have a fantasy question as well.
Okay. And what's up, Mega Brick, by the way? How's it going? Go ahead, Trevor.
So my team, I have Jaden Daniels, Joe Mixon, Bijan. I had Terry, Devontae Smith, Tank Dell, Noah Fant. I'm waiting for Pacheco to get back. I just made a trade because I need a wide receiver 1 because I don't trust McLaurin long term. I traded Chubb, Bigsby, and Tank Dell for Garrett Wilson and Jordan Mason so that hopefully Mason can supplant me until Pacheco gets back. Do you guys think I won the trade, lost the trade, or nothing really happened?
I think it's relatively even. I don't know. I think this might be the last Jordan Mason week. Like, it's for sure not going to last until Pacheco comes back, because Pacheco may not even come back for the fantasy playoffs. But we'll see. Again, I don't know why. I mean, I do know why, I guess. I was going to say, I don't know why the 49ers would give McCaffrey the same McCaffrey workload. But if they keep losing games, they're going to have
They need to win.
Yeah, so I guess that would be the reason why. But I can see Jordan Mason being more involved than previously. You know what I mean? Like, he could still have deep league flex value or something like that. We'll see. Who knows? I don't know. What do you think, Luke?
Yeah, I don't know. I think you got the best player out of the trade, right, with Garrett Wilson. I don't necessarily know that either side wins. What I'm concerned about is you probably giving up 3 starting guys. But given the state of your team, you said I mean, that's what you have to do to get a stud receiver. So I'm cool. I'm cool with it.
And if it makes any more sense, this is the league where they told us after the draft that last place has to do a punishment. So I'm just really trying not to get last.
That's fair. That is fair. And Mega Break wants to know, start Purdy or Goff this week, and that seems like a good segue into quarterbacks here. I'll say off the top, I have Purdy. Well, they're right next to each other. I have Goff at 12, Purdy at 13. Goff plays the Titans. Purdy plays the Cowboys. Neither matchup's great. Neither matchup's terrible, I don't think, given how how motivated the Titans seem to be. Like, I think they're way more talented, but I have Goff higher, and I trust Goff right now.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess if Lamar Jackson didn't exist, like, Goff is probably a front runner for MVP. So
yeah, we'll see who Purdy has Sunday too.
Right.
What do you think, Trevor?
Yeah, for me, I'm going Goff just because I don't think there's a knock to him overall, but like 49ers are playing Dallas. They should be able to run the ball down their throat every single second of that game. So I don't know how much Purdy even needs to do this week.
He has to throw a touchdown to George Kittle because it's National Tight End Week, I believe. So he's got to do that at least one. In my mind, Kittle scored every one of these. He's the one who takes this holiday very seriously. So I feel like he has to score.
Yeah.
I'm right that it's this week, right?
I don't know. Are you?
I think so. I feel like somebody last week said it was this week. Let's see. National Tight End Day. The 4th Sunday in the month of October. That's fun.
That'd be this
So
Sunday.
yeah. Oh, yes. No. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Speaking of national days, did you see Jordan Mason is RB10 or better in National Food Days, but RB like 20 or worse in National Women Days? But this Sunday is National Beer Day and National Mother-in-Law Day.
Oh,
wow. That's a big deal. I don't know how to feel about that, actually.
well,
I didn't look ahead. I should have done that.
Beer, mother-in-law. Okay.
One's better than the other, but also one's way worse than the other. What's he like or hate more?
Yeah.
Mega Brick, PPR, Hunter Henry, or Cade Otton. I'm going Cade Otton. Sorry. Henry plays the Jets.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna have to.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
Don't question it. I was high on Hunter Henry last game playing the Jets. He had 2 catches the first drive and nothing else the rest of the game.
It's gonna be a lot of Austin Hooper out there chipping because
you're right.
Like the Patriots, I think, have the second most pressures allowed this year. It's over 100 already.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's quarterback hits. It might be pressures, but it's bad. It's really bad. Are we starting Zach Moss, Tajay Spears, Jalen Warren, Ray McLeod? probably Warren. It's either him or McLeod for sure for me.
Yeah,
I'm going McLeod.
Oh, I'm doing Warren.
Who do Steelers have a good matchup? I know that.
They have the Giants Monday night.
Giants and then the Falcons play Tampa Bay. So Falcons should. I mean, it's so hard to project Tampa Bay this week. You can throw on Tampa, but are they going to have to? I like what I saw from Warren. I think he's safer.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Yeah, that's fine.
Both have just as high of a ceiling, though. But Zach, are we fully out on Zach Moss? What's our thoughts?
I'm not.
No,
I'm not. I think for Cincinnati, like Cincinnati's. Well, what Chase Brown has kind of been carrying that workload, huh? These last couple games.
Yes, I'm looking at this. He's for sure performed way better. Snap wise, it was actually even. That's kind of surprising. Chase Brown 31, Zach Moss 27.
Yeah, I don't know that Zach Moss is out of this offense is the thing. Like it's obviously going to be touchdown dependent. You're never going to start Zach Moss with certainty, right? But I mean, just given the state of running backs right now, I don't mind hanging on to him.
For sure, hang on to him.
Yeah,
but like I think we're probably also pretty out on Spears, and it's a similar reason, I suppose.
fair.
But people feel like Spears is fully droppable, and Moss is polarizing, I think.
I'd say they probably look the same. They're in the same tier.
I think so too.
We also missed the last Megabrick question, I think.
Oh.
And his second one.
Chicago defense, Lions defense. Always start the Lions. Full PPR, start Pittman, Judy, or Jawan Jennings. See the practice report from Jawan Jennings this week.
If Jawan Jennings is fully healthy, him, if not Pittman.
Yep.
I'll see where I have him ranked later. My gut feeling is that Jerry Judy's super involved this week. But
I was gonna say I don't hate Jameis Winston at all this week.
I don't, but Jameis pissed me. How's this? Jameis pissed me off last week. Tua won me over this week. I'm a Tua guy.
Oh.
I think Tua's a guy. I'll flip flop. So if he makes fun of offensive linemen again, dead forever. But the fact that he almost like laughed in the reporter's face is like, should I wear a Guardian cap? What did we do?
It was pretty good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big fuck you to Will Smith in the Concussion movie.
Huge fuck you to him. And that's deserved. Guardian caps need to get figured out. There's no way we can't like put them underneath the helmet. Like that's a little bit better. You look like a bobblehead probably at that point, but it doesn't need to be bigger. Every time we get something better, it gets smaller. So why are we walking around with a snow globe on our head? It looks so stupid. And it's gonna cause more problems. I guarantee it. Guaranteed. Put shoulder pads on, people hit harder. Put more helmets on. Put 2 condoms on. That's not safer. We already know that. Which tank should I play? It is strange. You would think fire with fire is a good thing, but it's not. Start Tank Dell or Tank Bigsby. Half PPR. Dell plays the Colts. Bigsby plays the Packers. I think ETN's going to come back.
Yeah, I'm rolling up.
For sure, eat into Bigsby.
I'm rolling up Tank Dell here. Like he had a 0 last week. He saw a lot of Jair Alexander last week. Houston passing offense just didn't get anything going. I think it's a bounce back game here for Houston. So I'm rolling up Tank Dell this week.
He was a couple passes. He was 1 pass away, really. Got targeted a lot of times in the red zone. So 1 pass away from like being a middle of the ground person last week. So he has to get involved.
Yeah, if the touchdown wasn't called back or whatever, we're probably thinking very differently about it. Like it would have been a no-brainer. So yeah, I like Dell this week.
So ETN is. I was gonna say, does it change your mind at all if ETN doesn't play this week?
It's closer. I would call them pretty even. Who do you think has a better chance at a touchdown? Tank Dell's pretty involved in the red zone, but I think the running back for the Jags probably scores this week.
Yeah, I mean, we saw, just going back to the Packer game, we saw what Houston did running the ball against the Packers. Like, I think Jacksonville can do that.
Yeah, Jacksonville ran it 39 times last week, and they're running it very well. And I assume now Doug Peterson has an excuse to use Travis Etienne as the change of pace guy now.
Right.
Because he's coming back from injury. once he's fully healthy, he probably almost has to give ETN the carries again, just because of front office business bullshit. But yeah, this week I think it's still Tank Bigsby time.
Yeah.
I mean, the only question I have is like, are we sure it's not going to be Dearness Johnson down in the red zone? Like that's the only question I have.
I mean, he's not. If ETN's active, Dearness isn't going to see any snaps, really. But I like him. You know, I've been a fan since the Orlando Apollos. Big deal. He was a great player. But you know, it is what it is.
I think ETN plays you're loading up Dell. Just to summarize that question.
I mean, the Texans need a statement this week. Like CJ Stroud does, Tank Dell does, all of them. They need a statement, and they need to learn how to. They don't even know how to draw up pass protections. Like it's not even a player thing. It's a scheme thing. It's insane. It blew my mind. We talked about it last week, and it showed itself again. Just did that one. Okay, Jacob, Tony Pollard and Nick Chubb for Cooper Kupp, PPR 10-team league. That's a lot.
Well, if you're doing this, you must be fine at running back then.
I would assume so. I'm assuming most people are still ranking Tony Pollard above Chubb. You know, obviously you've been playing him that way all year. What if Pollard's your 3, Chubb's your 4?
Yeah, I love this trade.
Okay.
Assuming you can feel the flex.
Okay, Trevor?
I'm in the same boat because I think you're trading. You know, I don't like trading Chubb after you just held on to him for 7 weeks. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to trade him, you better be getting something good back. So to Luke's point, unless they're running back 3 and 4, I don't like it. But if that's the case, then you have to grab Kupp.
If Jameis has a cool pregame speech, I'm going to be back on board him. Just I'll flip flop. I would love nothing more than to see Nick Chubb catch a streak, just up the seam.
Would be fun.
For whatever reason. Should he be running that? No. Should Jameis throw that? No. That's a touchdown. That would be the most fun touchdown of Sunday for me. Mega Brick, no problem. Ask anything and everything. We don't even need to go over rankings. Rankings will be there, but will we? That's
we'll be there in heart, in spirit. We're always there.
I mean, I'm taking it day by day.
Come on in. The water's warm, but not wet.
All right, Joel Embiid.
Don't. That's the worst thing. I almost want to leave. Screw you. I hate him.
Yeah.
Anybody who doesn't show up for their team, by the way, pretty common theme with me. Hate it. Tua coming after his lineman. Bad thing. I just had another one too. There's so Deshaun. But there's so many. It's okay. Kelsey or Ingram, PPR. We'll get to that in tight ends. I think I even have Ingram ranked higher this week. Thoughts?
Yeah, it sucks, but I agree.
I understand. I don't necessarily know that I agree. Like I kind of like Kelsey and Mahomes both this week.
I do too. It's tough. On one hand, Taylor Swift's not going to be at the game, and he performs better without her there. But on the and it's National Tight End Day. Do you think Evan Engram cared? Does he even know?
No,
it's National Tight
chance.
End Day. No chance at all.
And
Packers can't cover tight ends.
The Chiefs play the Raiders, and Patrick Mahomes just destroys the Raiders.
I feel like I looked this up earlier. I don't think Travis Kelce does.
But who else would?
DeAndre Hopkins.
I guess. Yeah.
That's a pretty big one. I'm so happy I hung on. I was so high on Hopkins coming into this year, and it's been taking it on the shins every single week.
Well, who's the Texans or the Titans head coach?
Not Musgrave. Old offensive line guy. Can't even remember his name.
Whoever
Callahan.
Callahan. When Hopkins went 0 for 0 or whatever, and was all pissed off, he goes, "Okay, what do you feel about Hopkins being pissed off about this?" He goes, "I like his spirit." Like, give him the fucking ball, man. The fuck we talking about?
No. I'm a Callahan guy. He is pissed. He hates everything. I like him and like his dad. I mean the whole Levis thing after week 2, he's like, he's an adult. Like, I can say whatever I want to him after they zoomed in. slow motion, just what the fuck are you doing? But just stay there. Like, I think you know what I said there.
Yeah.
Kelsey, last 5 games against the Raiders. Yardage 44, 91, 38, 25, 27. He scored a touchdown in only one of those games. That being said, that game was a 4-touchdown game. So, you know what I mean? He hasn't played very well against the Raiders. Again, it's not for a matchup thing. It's just a want thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, could he have 4 touchdowns? I think he had 4 touchdowns on 25 yards.
Yeah,
like, that's the biggest fuck you of all time.
That was that 4-catch, 25 yards, 4-touchdown game or whatever he had.
That was a different one. He did that against someone else. This was 7 catches for 25 yards. Just like, what's he? Where is he? That's a Jordan Love pass.
That's a Dennis Rodman stat line.
That too. That too. Okay, Pater, what's up? Welcome back. Which 2 would you flex out of Kamara, ETN, Bigsby, Devontae Smith, Hawkinson, PPR for tight end, half PPR for wide receiver, running back?
Oh, interesting.
This is really tough. Devontae Smith also had a shit week 7. Usually that would mean that they're going to get pretty involved the next week. I think he's my number 1 choice here.
Yeah. You guys know my love for Devontae Smith, so I'm loading him up.
Then who?
I'm going Kamara. I still have faith in him. I don't have as much faith with Rattler in there, but I still have faith in him.
I think he's my choice. Hawkinson, he's gonna be so tough to rank just because I don't know. He's not gonna be 100% snaps. Like, he's not gonna be full workload. But he's so good.
Yeah. It's an interesting scoring system with tight ends getting 1 compared to a half. But it's probably not time for Hawkinson yet for that to be the deciding factor in this. Kamara's fine. I don't hate ETN, but Kamara's, I guess Kamara. It's Kamara.
Who do the Saints play?
The Saints play the
Chargers.
I don't hate Kamara.
I don't hate him. He that's fine, I guess. Jake Hubbard for Olave PPR. Just naming players I hate. I think I'd rather have Olave.
Yeah, with Jonathan Brooks on the on the horizon here, but I don't love Olave either.
No, that's why I would take him and trade him, but
I mean, if you have to do that trade, sure, but look somewhere else for Olave for Hubbard if you're going to trade him.
I think that's selling him for good value. I think you're going to be able to sell Olave easier than you'll be able to sell Hubbard.
Sure. Okay.
I think people love Chris Olave.
Fair too.
As somebody who has Hubbard and is trying to trade Hubbard, I can tell you it is harder to trade Hubbard than Olave.
Okay,
but also that's the league where
sense.
people are giving away Tyreek Hill for Rachaad White. But
on top of it all, we don't even have Andy Dalton. So that we've seen how that offense has looked.
So Bryce Young probably put the hit out, huh?
Well, what are we doing? Andy Dalton gets in a car accident and then he's out with a sprained thumb.
Yeah, crazy.
You, out of pride, you play that game. Yes, I got in a car accident. All I have is a sprained thumb. Throw it left-handed. It doesn't make the team worse. They'll be fine. Yeah. Dak or Geno this week. And I suppose I didn't read my rankings really at all. Let's answer that one, though. Dak or Geno? My thought is probably Geno. I have Geno at 15 and Dak at 17. Dak plays the 49ers. Geno plays the Bills.
I like Geno.
And Geno probably without Metcalf as well, which makes a difference.
Then I like Dak.
I think it's close. I trust Seattle, their offense, quite a bit, more than I should.
Yeah, more than you should.
Yeah, I'll admit my flaws. It's fine.
The nice thing about Seattle is that they're running Ken Walker right now, which is helping move that ball a lot for him.
And they're not like in pain targeting Jackson Smith and Jigba this year. They're actually willing to do it.
Yeah,
and he's great.
Yeah, he's a good player.
And what? So we replace. Is it a downgrade to go from DK Metcalf to Jake Bobo?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever. It's
one of them has struck out in a celebrity softball game. One of them, actually, never mind. That's not true. Both of them got tackled on the 1 yard line a couple of weeks. I had both of them in the lineup. Yeah. Obviously, Geno sees a downgrade, but I think I like him more still. Because Noah Fant's getting more involved. Running backs are catching the ball.
Tyler Lockett's still a good player too.
Yeah, I'm just not afraid of Buffalo. Like, what in any capacity, people are now fully on board them again. I'm just not.
We did the same song and dance last year with Buffalo.
Yeah. It's like it's Wisconsin sports. They gave you a reason to believe, and guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna screw you. Jared asks PPR redraft which side? Brock Bowers, Amari Cooper, and then Garrett Wilson, Cole Kmet. I assume
Garrett Wilson, Cole Kmet.
I like that as well. How consistent are we thinking Amari Cooper is going to be?
Not at all.
Yeah, I think it's going to be somewhere in between Amari Cooper last year and Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know how you get, like, to me it feels Amari Cooper is like a 4 for 60 guy, and if he gets a touchdown, then he's startable. If he doesn't, then he's not startable.
Mm-hmm. Geno, Caleb, or Darnold. I think it's Darnold.
I'm gonna keep rolling with Darnold.
Oh, where's Darnold? Okay, so I have Caleb at 6 and Darnold at 7. Caleb plays Washington with Mariota. Sam Darnold obviously plays tomorrow versus the Rams. Both those matchups you gotta like. Geno is clearly last year, I think. Yeah, I like them both. I'm not sure if you have a wrong choice. So you guys both said who? Darnold?
I said Darnold.
Okay.
I think you could trade one of them.
If you have all three of these guys, yeah. Whoever you can get the most value for, I think fire away. Like, I think that's how I would do it. It's not like I value one way higher than any of the others. Dynasty question from Jimmy. Lost Rashee Rice and Shaheed. That's could have fun with names there. Would you go to try to replace production and make a run at the ship? I mean, I'm not sure where Trevor's head's at with that, but Luke and I are always going to say, yeah. Like, if you're not trying. Last year, I tried my best to sell my team halfway through, and then I won it all because everyone just shit the bed going against me. So
that's exactly what fucking happened. Let me tell you. But yeah, I mean,
we show up to play playoff time though. We scored then.
I remember I was looking at the matchup. I'm like, if I lose to a guy as Quentin Johnston as his 2, and I did very quickly. But
you figured it
beside
out.
the point, like, I think you make the run unless like it's pretty obvious. It looks like he said he doesn't have a first to give next year though. So I think like if you really don't have the odds stacked for you, try to get a first next year just to bolster your team. But like to your point, like, you have to make a run. You can't just quit week 8. I mean, what was weeks 1 through 7 for then? I think I guess Dynasty is value is a little different, but like Tank Dell, can you get somebody to completely give up on him or maybe trade him for lower picks? Just say screw the picks, go the Rams route and trade every pick in the future. Like that's definitely a possibility that could work because there's definitely a chance he goes nuts in the last 3 weeks of the year.
Yeah, I don't disagree. My strategy when I play Dynasty is go all in every single year. and that includes like immediately as soon as the season starts, trading all my picks to get players, and then when the draft comes around, saying shit, I don't have any picks, and then trading all those picks for like a first round pick in this draft, and then immediately
Yeah.
trading that young player for another player. So yeah, I always make a run. Like you're playing fantasy football to win. You play to win the game, right? So yeah, make a run, get rid of who you need to. If you have a chance at a championship, you go for it. You rather win now than win later.
Also, that Luke is currently last in our one dynasty league, but
That's because all these expansion drafts, everyone just steals all my players.
hey,
It's true.
that's the reason I had to give up my first next year to get Marvin Harrison, and boy, was that a horrible trade.
Yeah, so far. You're good. You will always figure it out. Make the trade and then come to us for advice. You will figure it out. There's always a move to be made. And the move I think you can make, I am very, very, very willing to sell Rashid Shaheed.
That's
Like,
actually
people
a
are-
good point.
People are thinking, next year after that, he's going to be just as good. I'm fine saying that's not true.
I like that too. Like if you can, even if it's not for somebody now, I think there's a very good chance you can bundle like Shaheed and a lower pick for a first round pick. I think there's definitely somebody in a league that'll take that, and if you can do that, you pull the trigger every time. Because next year's draft is stacked, in my opinion, at Dynasty. I think there are a lot of good receivers coming out.
Yeah, it's always weird. It's always depends on landing spot, but I think this is going to be a running back draft. I think the receivers are, we'll see. I think the running backs are good, but again, could a running back get drafted into the worst timeshare of all time? Yeah, but we shall see. AJ, what was his question? Dak or Geno? If it makes a difference, I have Walker as one of my running backs and Niners as your defense. Doesn't make a difference. You're good.
Yeah, you're fine.
All good to go. It is 7:30. Okay,
Is
so
the 49ers defense that worth hanging on to if you have to? Like, I'm not huge into holding defenses, so
no, but I'm playing them. I'm fine playing the quarterback and the defense this week. I think it's okay.
Okay.
Like, yeah. Oh no, Geno doesn't even play the defense.
Dak does.
Dak does. Well, then even then, okay. So double up my opinion then.
Yeah. Then I'm fine with Geno and 49ers. I'm sorry.
Even still, though, let's just pretend Geno played the Niners and I'm flip flopping like I have the quarterbacks even. I'm not afraid. Like anything could happen. He could throw a pick six and then dice them up and both have good games.
Fair.
It's happened too many times this year. Top five quarterbacks quickly. I have Jalen Hurts as number one at the Bengals. Yeah.
We haven't even got to quarterbacks yet. Love the questions. So
yeah, I will fully get off of this and answer questions if you guys got more. But Hurts 1 at the Bengals, Josh Allen 2 at Seattle, Lamar Jackson 3, dog at the Browns, Jordan Love 4 at the Jags, Joe Burrow 5 versus the Eagles. Trevor, anybody there stand out that you want to talk about?
I mean, Jordan Love is interesting to me. I'm interested to see how he does against Jacksonville. Like by all metrics and by all means, he should have a really good game. I'm not saying he won't. I think he'll put up a lot of points. The only question for me is how many interceptions does he throw? Obviously, it's not going to kill him. But I think the question of how many interceptions is he going to throw for the rest of his career is going to be why he's at 4, 5, 6 and not 1, 2, 3. He's a playmaker. He's dynamic. He makes plays, but he also makes a lot of Leroy Jenkins throws, and that's hard to trust.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree, but you're not sitting Jordan Love. I mean, you're right. Jordan Love is the top 5 guy. Like the Green Bay Packers are one of the better offenses in the NFL right now. Like they're just passing all over the place. So yeah, you're fine. Lamar Jackson obviously just might be a 3-time MVP after the season. Jalen Hurts, nice to see the tush push and rushing touchdowns get going again. I assume that's why he's at the top of your list here.
Yeah, it almost feels safe that he's going to get one.
Yeah.
And then, like, AJ Brown's extremely good. And like I said, I think they get Devontae Smith. Like, they make it a point to get him involved. So, add that all together. It's hard. It seems safe.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. The Jordan Love thing, again, at QB4, that's no vote of confidence in him as a player. I like the rip it mindset. I just feel like he doesn't do it at the right times or in the right positions. Like, I don't know, but it doesn't matter how many interceptions he throws because he is banking on, I'm just going to assume defenses are going to make the wrong play. And so far, defenses this year across the board, not just against the Packers, across the board, defenses just, they stink. And then quarterbacks are playing conservative against these crappy defenses, and then they stink. And everyone, it just leads to terrible football right now. And a lot of interceptions, a lot of tip plays. It's a lot of bad football happening. But I think you can bank on Jordan Love throwing a couple touchdowns, especially because Josh Jacobs is incapable of running in the red zone.
Yep.
16 carries, 1 touchdown.
Yep.
Okay, so I have Andy Dalton ranked right now, so that'll switch. Bryce Young will be 32 probably. Like he'll be pretty low. Daniel Jones I have ranked. He's a starter this week.
What about where did Bo Nix?
Bo Nix I have at 18. Like I know you like him. He's in your streamers article. Plays the Panthers. I just think he's not going to be incredible because I think Javonte Williams is going to run the ball a lot. That's it.
It's fair. It's fair. Either way, I think Denver's moving the ball in this game.
Yes, 100%.
And
100%.
Don't look now. Denver's 2 in the AFC West right now at 4-3, 5-3. One of them.
Yeah, go back to our offseason thing. You can look. It's on our YouTube page. The exact clip is they're just going to play steady football and not make mistakes, and they're going to steal stupid wins. And they're stealing stupid wins. Packers are too now. Somehow they just make fewer mistakes. Not to start the year, but now. Any other quarterback you want to talk about? Mariota, I have at 21. That's 7 spots higher than the consensus. I like him.
Yeah, I do too. I always like Mariota, but yeah, I like him.
Yeah. Running backs, I have Breece Hall at 1 at the Patriots, Saquon 2 at the Bengals, Derrick Henry 3 at the Browns, Joe Mixon 4 versus the Colts, and then Kenneth Walker 5 versus the Bills. Luke, any of those you want to talk about?
No, I mean, like, just given the state of where running backs are, it's hard to rank any other one in the top 5 there. I'm just gonna give a pat on the back to both Trevor and I, which is probably a really obvious statement that we said last week. But Trevor, you said I think it's Saquon and everyone else. I said I think it's Derrick Henry and everyone else. Turns out it was Saquon and Derrick Henry and everyone else. So congratulations.
Yeah, they're pretty easy to rank in the top 3 every week.
Yeah.
At this point. Truthfully, after the top 4, again, Hall, Barkley, Henry, Mixon, I value the next like 15 guys all the same, I think. So there's going to be a lot of shifting, but like I love Kareem Hunt versus the Raiders. I love Jordan Mason versus the Cowboys. I love Bijan Robinson versus the Bucks. Kyren Williams versus the Vikings is not the greatest, but he's so good. I love A-Chain this week against the Cardinals. Love Swift against Washington. Love J.K. Dobbins against the Saints. Like, there's just so many good matchups and good running backs right now. So I think it's going to come down to touchdowns. It's just going to be predicting it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
A lot of yards this week.
Love that.
I have Chuba Hubbard at 21 for the person who asked about him earlier. And again, I think this is the highest he's probably going to be the rest of the year because I think Brooks gets mixed in now. So sell him if you can. Javonte Williams, I have at 17. and I'm willing to move him into that group that I just talked about. Kamara I have at 25. I don't love him. I have David Montgomery at 24. I don't love him this week either against the Titans. That's one that hurt to rank that low, and I feel like could bite me really, really bad. Because I mean, he's a guy who could just score 3 touchdowns at any point.
Yeah, he's one of the better, not even running backs of players in the NFL right now.
Yeah. I just don't love the matchup. Any other running backs you guys want to talk about? Okay. A little more pep, guys. A little more enthusiasm. Let's go. Wide receivers. I have Justin Jefferson at 1 at the Rams tomorrow night. I have Jamar Chase 2 versus the Eagles. AJ Brown 3 at the Bengals. Amon-Ra 4 versus the Titans. And then I have Tyreek Hill at 5 versus the Cardinals. He told his fantasy managers he's, times now. He's back. Time to start him again. Tyler Huntley's got to feel great.
Yeah. I mean, like
it's real though.
Like, I'm not concerned about like this is the reason you held on to Tyreek Hill for 8 weeks now. Like you're loading him up. He's gonna have a huge game. He might finish as wide receiver 1 this. Like if you can finally get him the ball, we know what Tyreek Hill is. I'm on board with him being wide receiver 1 this week.
For me, and this is, I never thought I'd say this, but it's not a knock against Tyreek Hill as a person or as his play. I can't keep him top 5 just because I'm getting flashbacks of Kenyon Drake saying I'm going to win you your championship. So for that reason, I'm going to replace him with Drake London because I'm interested to see Drake London against Tampa Bay. He shredded them the first time. He's done pretty well this season. I'm interested to see if he can do the same thing again.
I'm going to compare Tyreek Hill and Kenyon Drake to beer and mother-in-laws. So, you'd rather have one always.
That's very, very true. Very real. I'm a Drake London hater, so he's actually going to be going lower for me, I think, at some point this week. He's had 2 top 10 weeks. I don't know if the Falcons have to try this game. Like, Buccaneers are going to be hurting. If it's a close game whatsoever, big knock against the Falcons, I think. It shouldn't be.
Do we have any faith in the Falcons to get a big lead against anybody, though? Like, they should run away with this, but I still think I don't think they're good enough to run away with it against Tampa Bay.
My only worry about the Falcons across their entire team is their pass rush. I think that's it. I think they're one of the best teams in the NFL still. I think Kirk Cousins is whatever. He's good enough. Their weapons are good. Their offensive line is figuring it out. Bijan Robinson's good. Their secondary is one of the best in the NFL. They just have the worst pass rush whatsoever. So, and then against the Buccaneers, like, you give Baker a bunch of time. Okay, he's going to do a 7-step drop, wait around, and then throw it to
anyone. Like,
I don't trust anyone will be open against Falcons.
What I'm saying is literally anybody on the field, offense or defense.
That's true. We saw Monday night Baker just stood there waiting, waiting for someone to get open, and then he just threw it directly to the Ravens guy. In the end zone.
Imagine if
Baker, no.
Imagine if the Falcons drafted a defensive player this year, hey?
Yeah. Maybe Penix can go out there though. Who knows? It'd be an upgrade at quarterback at least, in my opinion. Other wide receivers, I have Devontae at 13. I like him a lot against the Patriots.
Yeah, I mean, just off of what I'm just gonna keep going back to Houston, kind of killing the Patriots. Like, healthy or not, Aaron Rodgers can carve up New England, and I think Devontae Adams is a big part of that.
Mm-hmm. In terms of receivers, I like more or less. I'm higher on Amari Cooper at 15, 4 higher. I am 5 higher on Demario Douglas at 41. That was just bullshit what happened last week, that he was sick and we didn't find out till the third quarter. He's going to be probably a top 30 guy pretty consistently the rest of the year, I think.
Yeah,
I'm 11 higher on Tutu Atwell at 43, and he's going to rise even more with Whittington out. And I'm 7 spots higher on DeAndre Hopkins at 45. 45 shouldn't be too high. Like that shouldn't be 7 spots higher. I don't know what the consensus is doing. In terms of lower, I'm 6 spots lower on Jaden Reed because I've watched him play. I am 5 spots lower on Juwan Jennings. I'm not convinced he's going to be what he was previously. I think he's going to be fine and startable, obviously, at 30, but he's not going to be what he was when like Debo and everybody else is out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Any of those guys stand out?
I mean, just we'll talk about San Francisco for a second here. I mean, Ricky Pearsall, does that do anything to you guys this week?
Yeah, I think he's fine. I think I'm higher on him, or maybe I'm lower on him. I'm 4 spots higher on him at 52. So the consensus hates him. I think he'll flirt maybe with flex value.
Yeah. Yeah, he's one of the guys that I picked up in the absence of Mike Evans and Chris Godwin.
I think their leading receiver rest of the year, wide receiver, probably isn't currently on their team.
Yeah, and that's probably true.
Minus Debo.
Yeah.
But yeah. Clip next. Should I trade Javonte Williams, DJ Moore, and Kate Otten for Evan Engram, Zay Flowers, and ETN? No.
Yeah, probably not. I probably you like Javonte more than ETN moving forward. DJ Moore, Zay Flowers is kind of a toss up, and Otten and Ingram are also a toss up. Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm not betting on the Jaguars either.
No. Yeah, that's true. You're getting 2 Jags. I'm not convinced Zay Flowers isn't a massive downgrade from DJ Moore.
Probably, yeah, I don't disagree. Like Zay Flowers looks awesome, like 2 plays a game, and then looks like where is Zay Flowers for the entire rest of the game?
I think he's a great player.
Yeah.
At least for Moore, it seems like Caleb Williams oftentimes like, okay, where's DJ Moore? I don't think it's very often that I see Lamar going, where's Zay Flowers? Because he doesn't need to.
No, that whole offense is bought in to win as a team. Like no one's going to be complaining, which is great for them. It's just not for fantasy. It's going to be inconsistent. Because Mark Andrews, I'm very tempted to put it like 50 this week. Because he's
Mark Andrews.
I know. He's convinced everybody now. He's convinced everybody that Mark Andrews is back. This is where he lets us down.
I know it's a great sell high candidate right now.
For sure. And Isaiah Likely doesn't even exist anymore.
Right.
I was never bought in, but still.
Remember when everybody was saying that Isaiah Likely is going to be like the league winner after fucking 1 week? That was wild, wasn't it?
Insane. Like, trust. I think I said it before week 1. I said it again after week 1. Like, trust who he's shown you. Like, who he's shown to you to be. He's just inconsistent. He's just not there. Like, he gets lost. And, that's happening. Yeah. Turgay. I need 2 flex among these 3, McBride, Addison, and Mooney. Notes, I have London as wide receiver 1. Standard scoring with only 40-yard receptions as an extra point. That's kind of fun.
Well, then I'm loading up Mooney for sure.
True. Addison has the Rams. Rams obviously haven't been great. Cardinals play who?
It was a tough
Miami.
matchup. Oh, Miami. Miami's been good against the pass this year.
The standard scoring, I think, makes a huge difference for me because I like McBride a lot. I don't know how many yards he's going to get. Like, I think he gets like 6-7 catches for like 50 yards.
Yeah.
But 50 yards doesn't do much.
But does Addison see more than that?
Yeah.
I think he's probably boom or bust, but isn't he coming off a pretty shitty game?
Yep. But even then, I think he had 3 receptions for 50 yards. And I think around that area. I'm so big on Addison because he is my underdog pick. His line right now is at 44.5 yards. He's a big play guy. If he catches 1, he's going to get at least 35. Like, McBride isn't going to beat that out by too much. So the question is whether he gets a 2nd, 3rd, 4th reception.
Yeah, he got 66 last week. I was thinking his 36 yard performance the game before that. But I think it's at least a toss-up between Addison and McBride for yards. I think Addison has a better chance at a big play. And I think touchdown-wise, Addison might be more likely to score just because I think it's going to take a big play. So I'd go the 2 receivers personally. Luke, did you give your one?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I don't know. It's probably a Vikings bias on my end, but I'm more excited for Trey McBride in my lineup as opposed to Jordan Addison. I don't have any Jordan Addison exposure anywhere, so maybe I'm wrong in that. But for sure, Mooney and I guess it's a toss up for me. Can you go wrong either way? They probably both come away with 60 yards, to be honest.
Probably. I'm just sick of Kyler Murray. I'm done with it. He's been so bad this year, and people aren't talking about it. He's been horrendous.
Yeah, really bad.
He had that one game. It's like, can you believe Kyler Murray? He's so good. Like, it was a fluke. It was an accident. Sit 1, half PPR. Mason, London, Adams, Garrett Wilson.
London.
It's between London and Wilson for me.
I'm sitting Wilson. I'm thinking Christian Gonzalez sticks with Wilson.
Actually,
no, he won't be on Wilson. Wilson should operate out of the slot a lot.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I have Wilson ranked.
I don't hate sitting Mason out of these 3.
Next play.
Dallas.
I'm not sitting Mason.
I'm not sitting any running back against Dallas till Dallas changes something. I'm probably sitting Wilson.
They're coming off a bye, so we'll see. It's not. I mean, it was just effort. So that's what, I don't know what a bye does for Dallas right now. It's fully effort. You can't be Mike Zimmer and lose and be a coach because he's capable. Or it's like, you better be winning if you want to play for this guy. If you're losing and Mike Zimmer's telling you what to do, it doesn't work.
Yeah, you want to beat his face in then.
Yeah, for sure. He's such a dick.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Let's do tight ends. Then we will get out of here. Ask any final questions you got. National Tight End Week. We got George Kittle at number 1 versus Dallas. Brock Bowers 2 versus the Chiefs. David Njoku 3 versus Baltimore. Evan Engram 4 versus the Packers. And then I have Travis Kelce 5 at the Raiders. Trey McBride right after him. What do you think of those, Luke?
Yeah, I mean, we kind of talked to him earlier, but Evan Engram, it's hard not to like him this week, right? Especially given Quay Walker's uncertainty. Whether you say Quay Walker's a good player or not, he's fast and can at least drop back in coverage. He drops back in the run game, so dropping back in coverage. If you don't have him there, you can kind of see that middle of the field. I mean, go back to Arizona. Against the Packers when Trey McBride just ate in the middle of the field for the entire game. He had 8 for 90. The Packers have done a good job of taking away the outside, and that middle's exposed. So I'm cool with loading up Evan Engram this week.
If you're playing DFS and there's a single game Packers Jags, I think have one of Christian Kirk or Evan Engram. I think one of those 2 guys has a really good game.
Yeah.
And I think they compete with each other though. So I think one could have a really bad game, one could have a really good game. But we'll see.
But just to that point, if you have Evan Engram, you probably don't have anyone else at tight end, so you probably have to play him. And I don't think you're mad about that.
Not necessarily. There's a lot of people with Engram and a legit guy just because he missed so much time. So there's some people who figured it out, made a trade, something like that. So I think Engram's a tough decision this week for a lot of people. Trevor, any of those guys stand out to you?
A guy that stands out to me that we can talk about a little bit, that's just outside of it, Tucker Kraft. I don't think I'll ever have confidence to put him top 5, but he's clearly got a value in terms of touchdown. He's on a little run here. Obviously, 1 touchdown in week 4, 2 and 5, 1 last week. It kind of sucks because you can't bet on any yards or receptions for him, but he gets open, finds a way to get open in the end zone, and that counts for something. So he's a good guy to look out for too.
Yeah, I mean, his touchdown last week was awesome. Obviously a fluke. You do that play 10 more times, how many times does it happen? But I mean, You can't guess on his role. You can't predict his role week to week. He's a guy for sure who's jacked up about National Tight End Week, and he's been telling everybody on the team, probably having parties. He'll probably have little party poppers in the locker room. He's a guy who is going to love National Tight End Week.
Yeah. Yeah, and especially too, it's weird. Like I agree with you. It's really hard to predict him. Like he put in a solid week last week, scoring a touchdown. He had a couple catch and runs. Do you foresee Jaden Reed only getting 2 receptions in every game moving forward? Not that Tucker Craft ate into that, but I think it's a little bit to do with it. But once again, it's Samuel Tucker Craft kind of fits along with these Packers receivers, right? Are you ever really excited to start one of them? Are you ever really confident that you know what's going to happen? No, but to your point, Trevor, Tucker Craft is scoring touchdowns, and that's what we look for tight ends, right? So it's really hard to say that do not play Tucker Craft.
Yeah, for sure. I had a point. I don't remember what it was going to be. Something you said. I agree with it, or I have a point built off of it, just so you know.
I appreciate your honesty.
Yeah, not sure. I can talk about how upsetting Sam Laporta is this year. That's the only word I like. He's kind of broke my heart.
He has to see, a little bit more with Jameson Williams out, right?
Tim Patrick's there.
I know.
We know what Tim Patrick's going to do.
Tim Patrick's lurking.
He is. And he's looked pretty good.
Yeah.
He hasn't been great, but he's been Tim Patrick. He looks like Tim Patrick. So I'm excited.
Can we play a game? What's the next thing that Jameson Williams is going to be suspended 2 games for?
I don't know, but people from Detroit love Detroit, I found out.
Yeah.
They were not happy that I said there's nothing to do in Detroit. A lot of people attacking Green Bay, and no one could give me a good reason. Like there's nothing to do in Green Bay. Have you been there? You know what I can do in Green Bay that you can't do in Detroit? Go to sleep safely.
Right.
I could
drink the water.
Go for walks. Yeah.
Listen,
water.
Detroit doesn't have a giant sledding hill next to Ford Field. I didn't see one of those.
No, but they did have a half-built building, and that creeped me out.
Yep.
The top half was built, not the bottom. Didn't like that.
Yeah, they also have sewers that smoke, and we don't have that in Green Bay. So
bubbling too.
Yeah,
yeah. It wasn't just there's a witch's brew right under that thing. I'm not sure what was going on. Yeah.
I think the number one thing to do there is go to Canada.
It's incredible. Like I get hometown pride, and I'm from Detroit. I love my city. Your city went bankrupt.
Yeah. And you have all of these sports teams. You have all of these big tourist things and so many things to do, from what I've heard. How? It makes no sense.
Yeah. Yeah, Detroit's a shit city.
Green Bay didn't even have enough hotels to host a draft. We just put them up in cardboard, and then they're going to get knocked down afterwards.
Yep.
And we are profiting big.
Big.
We're good. We're fine. So stupid. Other tight ends, if I haven't looked at the practice report for the Chargers yet, but if Hayden Hurst is out, I feel pretty good about Will Dissly.
I agree, man.
I ranked him, I thought, too high last week. Like I ranked him pretty darn high, and he smoked it, obviously. Like he was good. He's really good. There's some people who are still holding on to Mike Gesicki. I think fully drop him for Will Dissly. And like
like that Shaq name, Luke.
Yeah. Hey, we need a 30 here, Zach.
Media timeout.
Yeah, we need a 30.
Speaking of Gesicki, you know what? I'll pick it up. Gesicki sucks, man. Stop owning him.
He's another one like Zay Flowers. He looks like the best player in the world for one play, and then is absolutely horrible for the entire rest of the game. Like I've never seen a player get talked up so much that has like the worst hands I've ever seen in NFL history.
When was the last time Gesicki put 2 good weeks together? It was probably Miami, right?
Yeah, he probably had 2 games in a row where he gritted and everyone got all in on it.
The last time Gesicki was good consistently for 3 weeks in a row, I'm 90% sure Todd Gurley was still in the fucking league.
No, that was probably Penn State.
I know,
He hasn't been consistent at all in the league.
it was like 2 presidential administrations ago that Mike Gesicki was even a thought for fantasy football.
He's always been like, this is the year guy.
Yeah.
And it's just never been that.
Yep.
He's the Chigakonkwo before Chigakonkwo.
Yeah, this is the week for him. Hey, now DeAndre Hopkins is gone. I can't wait to see the first person be like, this is just going to open up targets for Chig. There's going to be someone for Traylon Burks, too. Can't wait.
Yeah.
He's on IR right now, but he's about to come back.
Him returning kicks is wild.
Yeah. What else are you going to do?
I agree, but like you can't have Traylon Burks returning kicks.
I agree. You can't have Traylon Burks, period.
Remember,
I need to go back and I need to start like saving things from Packer fans.
Yes.
Because just like, I got so many mean comments because I said Packers should never even think about Traylon Burks because he fucking sucks. And he can't breathe. He can't do anything correctly.
I was just about to bring it up. People talked like he was the next Javon Walker or like Messiah, and dude's not even on the field in Tennessee.
Well, it was, Deebo Samuel was just the common comparison, the common one. And I don't know why, because he got handoffs in college for South Carolina, right? Who cares?
Yeah.
How many games they win? How good were they? Does it matter? Who else did they have on their team? So stupid. Irresponsible. Okay.
I have a question.
Oh, we got Underdog. I didn't even look at an Underdog pick. Go ahead.
I have a question before we do Underdog. Touchdown only league. I'm without Mike Evans this week. Sam Laporta or DeAndre Hopkins.
Hopkins.
Yeah, Hopkins. That feels like a touchdown right away.
Yeah,
doesn't it?
I agree. Yep.
If Zach, do you want to do a promo before Underdog, or I can just go right into it?
Yeah, I'll give a promo while I look for something here. So Underdog Fantasy, if you are unfamiliar, if you are not already on there, scan the QR code, download the Underdog Fantasy app, or go to underdogfantasy.com. Sign up with promo code FLURRY, FLURRY, and you will get a $1,000 deposit bonus. And on top of that, it is Boostober. We got new boosts, new promos every single day in October, including an unlimited NBA boost right now. Just keep putting in nice NBA picks. It's so nice. It's so nice. And there's a lot of people who aren't using it. 20% boost every single time. Fire away. So nice. So there's NBA, there's college football, there's NFL, there's hockey. There's all kinds of stuff for live drafts against other people, or pick them, string picks together, and obviously see a nice payday. Go to flurrysports.org and you can read some of Luke's Underdog NBA picks there. And we have a player props page on Flurry Sports as well. So even on days that Luke may not write an NBA article, there will be new NBA props there every single day. That's my promise to you and my promise to myself. And I'm going to try not to break a promise to myself.
A lot of NBA Underdog picks coming this year.
A lot. It's NBA. There's too many NBA games for people who create projections to keep up. There's always an edge to find, and we'll sniff it out. Promise you that. Trevor, what's your pick for this week?
I alluded to it. Jordan Addison, his line is at 44.5 receiving yards. I'm smashing the over. Last 3 weeks, he had 3 for 66, 3 for 36, and 3 for 72. And that 3 for 36 performance, he had 8 targets. He absolutely, I think that's a smash one, along with the fact that his longest reception prop is also at 20.5. I think that tells you all you need to know. Dude's a big play threat. He's going to get, at least 4 targets a game. He yells in 3 of those. And we're talking 15 yards a catch. To beat that, I think he easily gets that. I don't know if he's ever going to get you 100 yards, but he is also, outside of Justin Jefferson, I think the only one in this game that can bust a play for a 50-yard touchdown. And that beats your prop right there. So Jordan Addison, higher than 44 receiving yards, also higher than 20.5 longest reception.
I'm loading up Patrick Mahomes higher than 233.5 passing yards. Like for as middle of the road as we want to say Patrick Mahomes has been this year, fine. He's still Patrick Mahomes. He's going against the Raiders, where he's averaged, just short of 300 yards a game against them in 12 games. This is the lowest line you're ever going to get from Patrick Mahomes. He's still one of the best quarterbacks of all time. He's still, one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. I've learned that you don't make money betting against Patrick Mahomes. So 233.5, like, he's not Jameis Winston, guy. Like, it's Patrick Mahomes, loaded up. And if we know one thing, he kills the AFC West.
Yeah. Yes, he does. There's a few I like, actually. I'm going to go with Cedric Tillman for the Browns, higher than 36.5 receiving yards. This is one I like these types of picks that are the wide receivers like on teams that are bad and they're not necessarily like the stud wide receiver, because I think this is matchup proof. I think he's going to see a lot of targets. I think he's going to get yards. I like the matchup against the Ravens secondary that hasn't been super good. And I think the Ravens can blow out the Browns potentially. And if that's the case, Cedric Tillman's going to stay in the game because they need to see what they got in him. And they're going to be passing a lot. So 36.5. And he probably has Jameis, who's going to sling it. So 36.5 for him. Elijah Moore's 30.5. I think I like both of those.
Yeah. I agree with you. I also like, and this kind of shows the state of what everyone thinks about the Dolphins with Tua coming back. Tyreek Hill's at, I think, is 89.5 receiving yards. Like, that might be one play in this game, to be honest.
I like that. How do you feel about Cooper Kupp's receptions is at 6.5?
I love it.
I like that as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's instant offense for a team that's lacking a passing game right now. And if we know anything about Matt Stafford, is he'll force feed guys the ball.
That's true. What was it at? So TJ Hawkinson, just because it's interesting, I think. First touchdown scorer has a 5.5 times multiplier on it, which I like. But 24.5 receiving yards. That's very low.
For who? I'm sorry.
TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah, I mean, it's another one where, like, are you ever going to see that low from that good of a player?
It's just super interesting because either that he's going to very, very easily crush that, or a lot of people are going to rank him very wrong this week.
Yeah.
Like, there's such a stark difference between the two. Thank you, Jimmy, by the way. Jesse, Cup or Diggs rest of season was offered a trade. That's super interesting.
Yeah.
I think
I'm going Cup.
If both of them play all of the games, is it Cup for sure? Are you hesitant on that too, Luke?
It's kind of even here to me, right? Like, Cup's coming back. They're both, wide receiver ones on their team. They're both going to get probably the wide receiver one back in a couple weeks here. The rest of the season is keeping me up. Cup is fine. I guess Houston has many more weapons than the Rams do. I guess reliable weapons than the Rams do. So Cup probably has to be involved in order for the Rams to win games more than Diggs has to be involved for the Texans to win games. So I'm fine with Cup.
I'm not. Obviously, Cup's been rumored to be traded so much over the past 24 hours. I don't know.
I'm not
think convinced of that.
Yeah, I'm not convinced the Rams are going to blow it up here.
I think Chiefs checked in, and then they got a better offer for Hopkins, and that's why that trade went through. That's why that Cup news is leaked and talked about, because to make it known he's very available, and then all of a sudden, weird wide receiver was traded.
Right. The Jets went for Adams, right? The Bills went for Amari Cooper. The Chiefs went for DeAndre Hopkins. How many other teams that are trying to make a run are really looking to add of course you would love to add Cooper Kupp, but how many teams are looking to do that right now?
Let's talk about it. So I think Bills are still in the market. I think the Cowboys need to add somebody potentially. I think Washington could be in that since they've been playing very well. Steelers for sure.
I don't know.
Buccaneers, obviously.
Yeah, I guess.
Imagine
Cooper Kupp just sliding in for Chris Godwin. That'd be huge for Tampa.
True. Chargers. And it's and 49ers, I guess. He's just not going to go there. but they're in the market. I think there's a huge wide receiver market.
Interesting. Okay.
Which is, I mean, we've seen it, I guess. There's been so many injuries, and there's been a lot of just, I've written about it in every single article. It's super annoying to read, I'm sure. Quarterback play has been horrendous this year.
Yeah.
And what is the most stupid way to fix quarterbacks? Oh, he needs
Get a good receiver. Yeah.
I mean, like the Giants are like, we need to make sure Daniel Jones is good this year. Should we repair the offensive line? We could, or we could get Malik Neighbors, which is the right move because then they can just move on from Daniel Jones and still have Malik Neighbors. But they weren't putting him in his position to succeed. Make no mistake about that.
Yeah, I will say, I guess Cincinnati did kind of go to a Super Bowl drafting Jamar Chase instead of Penei Sewell. Not that they won it, but I mean, it's a thought in the league.
Yeah, they made their championship window a lot smaller, but they went for it and they almost got it.
Yep.
Damn near. Probably should have. Okay.
Has there been a... You want to do it? We can do this first.
Okay, Alejandro, what can you comment on Jaylen Warren? I mean, I like Jaylen Warren. I think he's talented. Steelers play who again this week?
Giants Monday night.
Giants. So, I mean, I think he's going to be pretty well involved. I think his role is going to grow a little bit more yet. He's obviously in a timeshare, and Najee's the obvious lead back or early down guy. But I think Jaylen Warren's going to be pretty involved, and I think Russell Wilson's very willing to dump it off to him. So,
yeah,
I like him. He's a flex. I'm not sure if I'd put him above a flex, but
agreed.
Flex.
Agreed. Every 3 or 5. Yeah, I'm cool. My point being, what I was going to bring up was, have you ever seen a fan base hold on more to losing a Super Bowl than the Cincinnati Bengals have for the last 5 years?
They needed something, man.
I get it. I get it. And I love Joe Burrow. I love Jamar Chase. I love them all. But like, I'm not a fan of propping up losses.
I probably by choice and by design with what, of how I've positioned myself on social media, I hear nothing from the Bengals, like whatsoever. Lions fans though, starting to piss me off. I had someone in that same thing when I was shitting on Detroit. Someone told me to win the North. Brother, you've won it once since I've been alive.
Yeah.
Act like you've been there. Like, it's not even good smack talk. I can't say anything back. Like, you're terrible.
But all you have to know that where the Detroit Lions stand, is that they put up a NFC North banner to fanfare, and they sold out of NFC North championship gear.
Yeah.
That shit is selling for $5 a month later in fucking Milwaukee.
I mean, again, one time in 31 years, I guess. I'm 30, and I think they won it last in 93.
The Buccaneers won it more recently than them.
Yeah, that's true. It's insane. Pater, we'll put this up here because obviously everyone should read this. We're awesome. Thank you. No, you.
You're awesome.
You. Awesome.
Luke, you're gonna point pitch.
Wisconsin man currently living in West Michigan. I can tell you from personal experience.
It's better than East Michigan.
Yeah, that is very true. I mean, we all went to the Detroit Packers game in Detroit, so we experienced Detroit a little bit. I went to a Dearborn liquor store before you guys got there, and it was the most out of place I've ever felt in my life. They all stopped and looked at me. Very sketchy.
When I had Trevor, when we were on the way to the game, and I had Trevor stop for that vape, and I went in there, it was a whole different country in there.
Dude, yeah. Domino's just doesn't deliver pizza.
Yeah, they took it. Respect the hustle. They left. West Michigan, I haven't really been over there much. I feel like that's probably okay.
West Michigan is nice.
If it's anything like the east side of Wisconsin between Green Bay and Milwaukee, I'm sure it's beautiful.
Let me tell you something. Last knock on the Lions. Anytime you have to have dollar hot dogs for the first hour that gates are open to get fans into your fucking stadium, tells you all you need to know about your fan base.
That's true. That's true. They're
Dollar
getting a
hot
little
dogs.
cocky.
Incredible. That's a great deal.
That's a great deal. Green Bay would never even consider that.
No.
There's no shot.
Dude, I went to the Packer game, and maybe this is a story for Lombardi Sweep, but I'll say it anyways because we're on the topic. I was at the Packer game, 2 beers, 2 hot dogs, and a thing of cheese curds was $70.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
How much was the beer? What the? No
It was
way.
$15.95, so $31 for 2 beers.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Dude,
Tough.
you got to stop by. Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That is tough. Okay, we will be back. Speaking of Green Bay, in like 10 minutes for Lombardi Sweep, our Green Bay Packers show. So come back, hang out if you would like. We will talk about the injury report for that game. Packers play the Jags, so some fantasy football stuff